Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Des Bishop Podcast. We got a great episode today with Stephen Mullan. We're chatting about a little bit about the coronavirus, about Trump's turning a page and taking things seriously. We talk about what we're looking forward to most when this is all over, and then we try to workshop a bit of Steve's, which just takes us down a whole avenue of cats and bringing pets into cafes and children and how loud you should be in cafes and condom use and the fear around HIV. It's a very broad ep. We hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys on my own after the ep. Thank you for leaving your comments recently. Please, as much DMs as possible in case you don't make it to the end, even though I said this at the end too. We love the feedback. Anything you want us to talk about, send it our way. And even, if you want to send us a video, maybe I'll just chuck it in the middle of the video. A question you want us to answer, I'll edit it in the middle of the vid. Why not? So thanks, guys. Here's me and Steve having the crack.
Good to be back, people.
Yeah, we're really rocking the technology, Steve. Now we know how to do the switchy back and forth screen,
Absolutely. This lockdown time has us all updated on all the latest technology methods. Lack of hair products going on. Sorry about this, folks, but
well, you're closer to your video than I am. Just for the record, you're taking over the square a little more than I am. I'm sitting outside, by the way. It's a relatively nice day. I'd say it's about maybe 10 degrees, but I'm in a bit of a wind trap outside the house. So I said I would use this precious time to just soak up a few rays.
Nice, absolutely. You're getting a nice color already, man.
Steve, you're still amongst the Post-its.
Yes, yeah. I actually have written down everything that's on the Post-its. I do need to just take them down. Off you go. Look, what do they say? Even
you're like you're like a beautiful mind. You're like Nash, yeah. Dr. Nash in A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah. I don't know how beautiful it is at the moment, but hey,
trying to make sense of all your crazy thoughts during this difficult lockdown.
I know, bro. I know. So how have you been doing?
Yeah, I've been doing fine. I mean, Trump frustrates me, so it's taken over my life a little bit. But now, in saying that, I'm gonna make this we'll make this a Trump-free zone, because in fairness to Trump, he finally yesterday evening started taking it seriously with some sobering projections. He finally kind of took it seriously, and of course, he's not going to take responsibility for starting too late, but let's worry about that in the future. At least now, finally, America's getting on top of it, because it's going to be a shit show here.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. They started doing the graph work, basically, is all I saw. Is that what it was?
Well, I mean, basically, I think a couple of things happened. I think that he knows one or two people that got sick. I mean, I know he says shit and it's not true, but something changed in him. Definitely something changed, because yesterday he was like a different guy, and he took like 4 questions from Jim Acosta and didn't get annoyed, which is just that something's definitely up with Trump if he's like not ripping on CNN. Yeah. But he said that somebody he knew was fine, and then suddenly they're on a ventilator, basically. And I think that freaked him out a little bit. The whole, like, it's like the flu. Like, he basically said yesterday it's not like the flu. But, of course, he didn't admit that he was saying it was like the flu. He's pretending that he was taking it seriously from the get-go. But, again, that's not important. But, obviously, the other massive difference is that the projections from Fauci and Birx and his team was that the best-case scenario for the United States right now is 100,000 deaths.
Jesus.
That's the best case. And
oh, my God.
And the worst case of the best case is 240,000. But that's like so between 100,000 and 240,000 deaths if we do a national social distancing, national stay at home.
Wow, that's pretty fucking heavy shit. Like, have you noticed the vibe? I suppose it's hard to be able to feel the vibe of what's going on, but have you noticed a change in the vibe of the community where you're at, or the mood of the people, or the mood of the nation?
Come on,
changing?
New York is Italy, bro. New York is Italy.
Yeah.
Everybody around here knows what's up now.
Yeah.
Finally,
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I said this. I mean, you can, when we were chatting 2 weeks ago, I'm back today. I'm here 2 weeks now. When we were chatting, the first thing I said to you was that people are not taking it seriously here, and and even up when last week when Trump started his when Trump started his, we got to get back to work. It can't be like this. There were people being like, this is ridiculous. It's the flu. They were saying that last week. They were taking their lead from him. So, but I do feel at the moment that there's clearly a switch. I mean, people are dying. Somebody died here. Somebody died just at the end of my road, apparently. I mean, the constable told me, but he obviously couldn't say who, but just that this little village is only a tiny. Where I live is only literally like 1.2 miles of road is one tiny village, and he said just at the beginning of the village, somebody died from the COVID.
Wow, Jesus!
But also, I've noticed this morning I woke up and my golf club in Ireland and the squash club that I'm a member of. There was 2 emails from the golf club and 1 email from the squash club saying, we regret to inform you that member somebody died. And it doesn't say that they died from COVID. The only thing it says about COVID is that it's a private family funeral due to HSE regulations around gatherings, But so in Ireland, apparently it's 10 closest family members can go to a funeral. That's what's allowed to happen. So anyway, there was 3 of those emails this morning. Of course, at least one of them is a COVID death,
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy times. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who is due to give birth to her first child in around about 10 days. She's due, and she got the news yesterday that her husband is not allowed to be in the ward with her. And she's like fucking freaking out, but like that's the world we're living in at the moment. It's crazy,
Yeah, absolutely. Why and better off because she's at risk anyway. There's nothing she can do. She has to put herself at risk. Sorry, my mic
totally. But it's it's going to be such a. Please God, it all goes well and she's all good and all that. But like I can't imagine doing that shit on your own. It's difficult, But anyway, such as the.
I can't imagine doing that shit at all. So pros and cons of having a penis, man.
Oh yeah. That's very true. That is a crazy experience. I've experienced it once, and it's like, yeah. I say it's crazy, but it's one of those things that people build up. But it's actually, I think, it's the most natural thing in the world when you're actually there and it's happening. It's kind of like, oh yeah, this is, it's natural. People have been doing this for fucking thousands of years, so like it's all good, But
so I put out on Instagram, what are you looking forward to the most when this is all over?
Right.
I didn't get any surprising responses, but I got a lot of. I had said that I just can't wait to just go to a cafe and have like an oat milk latte and just the simple normalness of that. What would your thing be?
I think what I miss the most, and what I think a lot of people are going to miss the most, is the simple things like that. Like I'm going to miss just walking into town. Do you know what I mean? And just the buses flying by again, and kind of people on the streets and pedestrian, having to wait at pedestrian lights. Being around people in general is just like because at the moment there's an awful paranoia when you're walking around anywhere. That I went to the shop yesterday and I kind of in my peripheral vision saw somebody and immediately jumped to kind of how close are they kind of and everybody's feeling paranoid like that, so the end of that will be something that I'll look forward to, because you're kind of in a negative mode constantly walking down the street. You're like, get the fuck away from me.
I noticed when I was watching I was watching Tiger King last night, but actually I only watched a bit and I went to bed. But all TV shows that I watch, not the news, but like stuff that's recorded in the past, I can't help but have a weird moment every time they like shake hands or they're next to each other or they're hugging.
Totally.
I'm like, fucking hell, it's just so mad. How
Look at
weird
these
that
guys
looks.
have no idea.
So it's like, what are you guys doing? This behavior is just unacceptable. It's funny how quick it looks.
I was watching that Marvel movie last night, Deadpool, and there's a scene at the beginning of it where the superhero character is sitting in the back of a taxi and he finds chewing gum on the roof of the taxi in New York and he pulls it off, and I'm just going, no fucking way. Like,
it's full of COVID, man.
Out.
A lot of people shared that. Funnily enough, a few people shared about going to the cafe. A lot of parents shared like I just can't wait to get childcare back. It's just a lot of people are
Yeah.
sick of their kids already. I have to
Oh,
say.
totally, man. Like, yeah, I had it yesterday evening. It was just like anything my daughter was saying, I was just like, "Fucking shut up!" But it's just, I feel bad for, I feel bad for her because she just needs to go and fucking run around and jump in a bush, or do you know what I mean, and do all that crazy shit. But it's, I miss playing football. That's a huge one for me. I'm like a, but like,
So you can't
the
wait to get
thoughts of-
back. You can't wait to get back to a game of football.
Yeah, but just even because, like, the thoughts of even if you're in a tackle or you're close up next to each other on the side of the cage, you know, you just have somebody sweaty touching off you. There's no way anybody would be playing that now. It'd just be like, get the fuck away from me, you know. So
I
think
know.
the first
wonder-
game
I
back
wonder-
is going to be a bit
I-
paranoid.
I wonder how long it'll take for everybody to just like be loose again. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like
It's
because
definitely going to be back in the mind, all right.
I'd like to get the stats on because people are very irresponsible with condom use nowadays.
Yes.
And when I talk to some of these younger people that I may or may not have dated over the last few years, they definitely have a more lackadaisical attitude about condoms than I have, and also certainly when I was in my like late 20s, I just like condom use was just way more important to me, especially when it came to like casual sex. And I know that that's because I lived through the AIDS epidemic. Even though I was young, it's just in your head that not using a condom is a major risk. It's not about not getting pregnant or not getting chlamydia. It's about not getting AIDS, not getting HIV.
Yeah.
And clearly there's not as much fear around HIV in the like people that were born after 1985. So I would like to get the stats on when STD rates began to rise. Other STD rates like chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, when that began to rise after the sort of the the therapies around HIV started to work and it became less of an issue.
Yeah, yeah. Have you noticed any difference culturally between, like, you live between two countries? Do you notice any difference culturally between the two?
Condom use?
Yeah, condom use. Yeah, and STI and clinics and all that. Because I noticed it when I moved to the UK. Everyone in London was going to get checked all the time, whereas in Ireland nobody talked about that shit.
No, well, actually, on last week's episode of The Shift, we talked to actually the other day we talked to somebody who is in that field, and that is a big problem. Again, it's like a step over. I don't like doubling up, but at the same time, for the listeners, for the people that listen to this and don't listen to The Shift, it is a big problem in Ireland. STD rates are actually skyrocketing. HIV rates are also skyrocketing, by the way, and I think
Really?
a lot of 100%. That's like a real fact, and a lot of that people can blame various different things, dating apps, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that people just feel a million miles from the HIV epidemic, But it's funny, they talk a lot about it. They talk a lot about HIV in relation to COVID in terms of like how they, ignore the beeps, by the way. Some people might hear the beeps. There's just some construction going on around me, but I'd say it's fairly in the background. But anyway, that was an epidemic. This is a pandemic. The people's attitudes have definitely changed around that. And I think, by the way, that goes for Ireland and the United States. Oh, sorry. I got distracted by all that. But anyway, in terms of testing, people definitely have a much better attitude about testing here in the United States.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's also I think because people in larger cities like a New York or like a London and stuff like that, I remember the dating scene being very difficult when I went over, but also because there's so many people from so many parts of the world, there's not. It's almost like, because Ireland is so small, everybody feels like they know everybody on some level. Do you know what I mean? You're never too far away from understanding where somebody comes from culturally or where they're from. Whereas in the big cities, they're way more germophobic is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. There's a lot more attitude of cleanliness and stuff like that. And
yeah, but I also think in terms of going for tests, there's still like a weird, stupid shame about it. It's if you get a rash on your face, you go to the doctor straight away. Like, I don't know what's going on with my face, but for some reason, like, you get a pain in your dick. People don't want to go to the STD clinic. They think they're doing something dirty. Like, there's still this stain of shame. Plus, Ireland's so fucking small.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anytime I've gone for a test in Ireland, which is many times, I've gone for a test in Ireland many times. I'm always like fucking face down, like even though like when somebody else walks in, they're in there for the same reason as you.
Yeah,
You almost feel like
totally.
breaking. You almost feel like breaking the ice and being like, "Well, you burning, discharge. What's your one night stand? What's your situation?"
Yeah. Have the waiting room chats.
Yeah. Although it's
Yeah.
one place you don't want to hit on people.
So true. So true.
So let me
Once
get
this
your
is all
number. Let me
cleaned up,
get
you
your
wanna
net.
get a drink?
Call me when you get your results.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did I
Yeah.
did I ever tell you the Dr. Friedman story?
No, don't think so.
Oh, okay. So, I feel like I've told this on the pod before, but I'll tell it anyway. So Dr. Friedman's a sexual health doctor in Ranelagh, and for a long time he was kind of the only one that I knew to go for a private test because you can go to St. James's and get them for free, but like you're in there with everybody, like. So anyway,
You'll be doing
I-
selfies in there.
I've gone into. Yeah, we're doing selfies in the STD clinic, like, hey, only had chlamydia once. So anyway, Friedman, I've gone to Friedman many times. Let me tell you the first joke. First, I'll tell you the not story that I was going to tell about Dr. Friedman. So I go in there one time, and we're talking for a bit. And he's very like he loves chatting, and he likes chatting about my career and everything. So. I went in whatever with whatever concern that I had, and then he asked me how many sexual partners I told him, and then he goes he goes through a couple of symptoms, and then he goes, have you been tired lately? Feeling lethargic? And I was like, yeah, I have actually. And he goes, that'd be all the sex. Because I was like, oh fuck, like I'm fucked now, So that's Friedman.
brilliant.
That's Friedman's sense of humor. Okay, so he makes you
Yeah,
feel at ease. Okay, so here's
That's
the other.
cool.
So here's the other story. So Aiden goes to Friedman too, right? My brother Aiden, and I guess at one stage, one of Aiden's visits, Friedman says, your last name is Bishop. I'm assuming by the way you look that you're related to Des Bishop. And Aiden was like, yeah, Des is my brother. So I guess he asked Aiden a couple of questions, and the conversation moved on. I can't remember how it all panned out in terms of the amount of time, but all I know is at one stage Friedman asks Aiden, have you ever done a double act? And Aiden starts telling him, yeah, one time I was with two women. And Friedman goes, no, I meant with your brother.
Oh,
So-
God, it's so good. That's so good.
Aiden has a few good ones, man.
Oh, he's so funny.
Aiden has one he never did. I used to do the joke because Aiden tried to do it and he never got a laugh because I guess it makes him look like an asshole. So I used to do a joke. I used to do Aiden's joke, but tell the story as my brother said, right? And for some
Yeah.
reason it worked. It would work when I would say my brother said because it's like a degree of separation. So
Yeah.
the joke was, fucking, I don't get Irish people with Irish girls with all this fake tan. I don't get all this fake tan, So I brought this girl home one night, and she stayed the night, and she was like, I can't look at you. I haven't put on my face yet. And he goes, he hands it a pillow and goes, look, here it is.
That's so Aiden. Fucking
So
hell.
Aiden, like the Shroud of Turin.
Yeah.
Irish one night stand with white sheets. It's like the Shroud of Turin.
He's happily
So-
loved up now, isn't he?
Oh yeah, man. Aiden had a great episode on the shift talking about his relationship with Anna. You're both in love with Portuguese women,
Oh, really? I got to listen to that. I got to go check that out. That's funny.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's on form there,
Oh,
He's
that's
definitely
great.
on
That's great.
form. So anyway, because I did actually. It's funny that we naturally sort of fell off Corona because I did want to keep this somewhat somewhat Corona free. I certainly had to keep it Trump rant free because I'll do my Trump rants on my own. They seem to be very popular, but at the same time, I don't
Oh,
want
really?
people to think I don't want people to think that that's all I got. You know.
Yeah.
But I did a great thing with Joanne last week, and I was just wondering now that Edinburgh's canceled for you. First of all, how do you feel about Edinburgh being canceled?
Yeah, I mean, on one level, it's like this was going to be my first full run at it this coming summer, and on one hand, it's a lot to take on financially, and there is a lot of pressures for like you want to put your best foot forward and write a great show for it. So I was writing a new show for it. So all those pressures were on anyway, and then certainly from a financial point of view, with the pressure being taken off financially, that kind of feels good. But you're kind of gutted really because it's kind of, for certainly comics at my level, we're trying to move on in the career. It definitely knocks us back at least a year, because there's probably not going to be any of the comedy festivals in the summer either. So it's just a bit like fucking, you kind of don't know yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of a little bit unknown for the rest of the year. But
everybody's going to have the tightest shows ever in Edinburgh next year. Usually it's like, oh God, I only started working on my show in April. Like I don't know if it's going to be any good.
Yeah.
It's like everybody
no
probably
excuses now, bro.
Yeah, well, everybody probably at least had the outline of their show done, right? So now it's like they can just, but everyone's just going to put it on the back burner now. And next year they're going to be like, fuck, I had a whole year. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Yeah, it's totally comedians the same. Yeah, the usual shit. But what about you? Does it look that your tour will get put back till the end of all of it pushes back to the end of the year, or does it go into next year?
Well, currently right now I've rescheduled. All the reschedules are going into the autumn or the early part of 2021. So I think actually, I mean, I haven't said this publicly, but I think it's going to work out in the sense that I didn't do Australia this year. I wasn't doing it anyway. I wouldn't have been doing it because it's canceled. But even though I actually did like 15 to 20 minutes of the stuff about my mom immediately after she died last year in Melbourne, which is the beginning of all this, which was right now, literally right now, this time last year. I think I'm probably gonna. I think I'll take Mia Mama to Melbourne next year because it's such a tighter thing. So actually, it kind of works out because I'll run Mia Mama in Ireland right up until the second week of March, or maybe even earlier. I might do Brisbane. I didn't do Brisbane. Actually, I'm probably going to run everything of Mia Mama into Ireland until I go to Australia next year. And then, because I'm hoping to do a run in the Soho too. So I'll just bring a super tight show. So for me, it's all just postponement. Now, I'm doing all my reschedules into the autumn. Of course, that's not a guarantee. But right now, that's in a perfect world right now, I'll be happy enough to get Mia Mama done by sort of late Feb, early March 2021. And get the party going from there. But anyway, what worked great with Joanne, but I don't know if you're interested. It's up to you. We've talked about it before. Is there any you want to workshop any bits? Any was there any bit that you had just as a basic premise that you hadn't really done any work on yet that you want to just workshop right now for the crack?
Well, I don't know if I could try it. I think it's a bit abstract, so it's a bit ballsy for me to even say it. But I had this whole bit that I have kind of written up in theory about. It's a story basically, and like I've got a massive fear of cats, right?
Yep.
And so it's not even like, but it's kind of the basic premise is two things: that I have a huge fear of cats, and there's a reason why that has happened because of an incident that happened in Buenos Aires in 2005. And but the other thing is, like, I don't even know if it's that funny, but I've always had this feeling that cats, I've always felt that they're English because of their attitude, like the way that they but it's even the way that they lick their paws, they're looking down at you even though they're below you, kind of, oh, hello Paddy, kind of a very, and I don't mean, when I say English also, the type of English I mean, I don't mean Scousers, do you know what I mean? Cause
no, you mean Southern.
Cool,
You mean Southern upper class English people whose ancestors fucking took the corn from our mouths as the fucking potatoes were rotting.
Yeah, but
I mean,
but
I don't want to turn
into
I don't want to turn into the Bull McCabe here, but you know what I mean.
That's the thing. I didn't want to go down too far that route in it because, like,
well, we're only having the crack here, Steve.
Oh, I know. No, I know. But in the bit, in the bit, I wanted to be like, because do the whole like, because some of my best friends are English. I love the English and blah blah blah. But then the funny story was basically that I was 19. I was in Buenos Aires and I was staying in friends of family's apartment, and they had this Siamese cat, and straight away the cat just fucking absolutely hated me, just for whatever reason. And
It was
I didn't
English.
Tell it that
The cat was English.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, I thought it was English, but I wasn't going to assume that it was an English cat. So I was trying to be nice, but also it was from Siam, so I was kind of going, maybe it's got a different accent, maybe it talks differently, you know, maybe. But then the cat is also in Argentina, so maybe it's a kind of a Latina cat. I don't know, you know. And then, but then they called the cat Heidi. So then I was basically playing all these stupid accents off against each other, where the cat maybe has a German accent or a Latin accent. But the story goes
Siam is Thailand, right?
Thailand, exactly. Yeah.
But
part of the story goes of, I mean, this is true as well. That
what actually happened? Tell me the true story first.
The true story was the cat would. I'm even nervous telling you because I get sweaty hands thinking about this cat. Like, it used to like creep under the table and shit like that, and I'd be sitting on the couch watching football on the TV, and it would jump out of nowhere and like fucking on my head, like, and just start fucking hitting me, and they'd be like, "Oh, Heidi, come back!" You know, they were trying to calm the cat down, and rather than reprimanding the cat, they would just go, "Oh, she just doesn't know you," you know, and I'm like, well. What the fuck is going on? Are you not going to do something about this? And literally, this is true. This is what they did. They gave me a spray bottle like this, full of water, right?
Oh, yeah, it sprayed.
So I'd have to sit there watching football, and as soon as I would feel...
By the way, why do you have the spray bottle there? Did you know you were going to tell this story today?
It's for cleaning my whiteboard.
That's just quite a random thing to have in front of you while you're doing the podcast. I guess in these times, not so random, you know. But like, it's just so funny that you're like, I have this prop. I hadn't intended to tell this story, but I had this prop here just in case I told the fucking Siamese cat story.
So I used to have to sit there on the couch, and I would be watching football. Literally have gone, and as soon as I could feel the cat going, I would just have to start squirting. And again, she would always work in my peripheral vision, you know, like someone scores a goal, I'm like, oh, great goal, and then she'd, you know. So have you
seen the TikTok with the big head and you go pew pew pew?
No, I haven't actually. I must check that one out.
Yeah, check it out. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
But so what used to happen, because I was like 19 at the time, I would always be out late every night. And the family would always be up earlier than me in the morning because they would go to work. But because I wouldn't come out of my room because the cat would just start fucking attacking me. So I used to have to wait in my room till they all went to work. They had their time with the cat. Then they'd lock the cat in their bedroom so that I could come out and get about my day, you see. But the cat knew that this is what was happening. And as soon as the cat heard me up and about the house, would go fucking nuts and be banging the door. It sounded like there was 20 cats in the room going, bum, 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 you know, and I'd just be shitting it, and I wouldn't even have breakfast. I'd just leave and fucking go, and I'd come back late at night because I was scared of the fucking cat, like. And this went on for 6 weeks, because I was over there for 6 weeks, and that's kind of the story so far. And at the end of the whole bit, I'm thinking of just maybe I do something stupid, like finally I have the guts to stand up to the cat and I just start going, rrr, 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 but like fighting back like a dog or something. I don't know, but anyway, I'm just working. That's the bits I'm working out.
It's great to have the story. You just have to decide on you know what quick bits of the story are like funny in terms of the story, and then obviously you're going to season it up with that cats are English, and then obviously you're going to have to try to do that in a way that doesn't offend English people.
Yeah,
which is easy to do for Edinburgh, you know, because the Scottish. But basically, you're just saying that like I think all cats are posh English people. So essentially, you're just turning it into like a joke about posh people.
Yeah, and it's about posh people, and it's about, because when I say English, then I'll define what kind of English on purpose to kind of go, like, I love Scousers, but this cat isn't a Scouser, it's not a Geordie, you know the English I'm talking about, it's like, oh, daddy, you know, that kind of attitude, kind of English, so yeah, do you think that the start of it talks about, like, I just start telling the story as opposed to saying that I hate cats, or what do you think is like, I should tell the story and pepper it up with why I think cats are English and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think straight away you say I hate cats, but I have a reason, right?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's probably one or two cat. I mean, obviously you got to watch out. You got to try not to fall into that trap of, you know, the difference between cats and dogs kind of stuff. You know, you got to have your own take. So obviously your own take is basically like I was abused consistently by a Siamese cat, and I mean, in fairness, their reaction to a Siamese cat is kind of like the legal system around sexual abusers. It's like they were really in denial about the fact that this was abuse. You know, they were like, "Oh yeah, no, that's just the way. That's that's just the way he is. Just spray him." Like, no, actually,
Oh, they were absolutely ridiculous. They're like, "Oh, it's just that she doesn't know you," kind of thing. It's like, I don't know her either. We're not fucking kicking her around the house, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the funny thing is that if you did the human equivalent to that cat, of
Yes.
the cat jumping on your head, they would be like, "Oh my God, don't do that. Oh my
Yeah,
God, don't
yeah.
do that." I can't stand people.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm about to foster a dog, but I can't stand people who like won't accept how annoying that their animal's behavior is. You know?
Yeah. Oh,
And I love when
I can't
love,
stand people. Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
Well, I was going to say that I don't mind when people bring their animals into cafes when it's an animal that's suitable for a cafe. And it's not even a big dog thing, because I am so happy. If a Labrador Retriever or, anything bigger than a lab comes into a cafe, I'm totally cool with it if it stays in its spot and only comes over if people beckon it over. I can't stand when people just like let their dog roam around the cafe. It's like, dude, your dog can come to me and I'll sit with your dog and have my coffee all day. But you can't be sure that 30-year-old woman with her 6-year-old daughter is delighted to have your fucking dirty lab come over to them at the table. So I'm cool with it. But
that's the same. That's the exact same with people bringing their kids to cafes as well. It's the exact same. Don't have them fucking running around. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to talk to your kid. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I much prefer it when people bring their dogs and their fucking kids.
Yeah. I worked in a very small, cool cafe in Hoxton in London, and there was the most hipster, upper middle class English couple that used to bring their fucking Great Dane in every day. It was like, there was 4 tables in the cafe, like.
But was the Great Dane well behaved?
The Great Dane was fine, but I mean, the Great Dane couldn't even misbehave because he walked in and he could only go backwards. That was it. That's how small of a cafe it was.
Well,
he couldn't even turn.
They were crate training their Great Dane in the cafe.
Oh, it was fucking ridiculous. And they were so nonchalant about it, they're like with their vegan breakfast. Anyway, whatever. I'm not going into that.
No, but there you go, bro. You should be writing all this down, because actually all these things, see, this is what I like, is like all the potential avenues out of this story is huge. Now you got the Great Dane story in the cafe,
Yeah, that's true.
And then honestly, for me, my pet hate, I've tried to do material about this before, but my pet hate is people that like parent their children really loudly in the cafe. And I don't mind, like, if it's a quick burst of discipline, like, honey, come here, whatever. I don't mind that. I can't stand when, like, they bring the kid into the cafe and then they, like, do their fucking math homework in the cafe, like, really loud. So, like, now we all have to listen to, like, fucking Dad of the Year. It happened recently, and this was well after I joked about it on stage. I was in a cafe in Dublin, a small one, too, and I won't mention which one, but you used to work for this company, and but it wasn't one of their main ones. It was a small one. Yeah. And this fucking dad was doing a math homework with this kid, like, so fucking loud, and I was just like, mate, you want us all to know that you're the Dad of the Year, but this is not the fucking Dad of the Year competition. I'm not on the fucking panel. If you're gonna do your fucking math homework with your kid, do it at home.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like I love kids, actually. So like, if your super cool kid wants to come over to me and talk to me for a bit, and you're comfortable with it, let your fucking kid come over, and I'll entertain your kid for 10 minutes, because actually I get a kick out of that. But at the same time, like, don't let the cafe be taken over by your kid.
Yeah, there has to be some social awareness at the same time. Like, I'm big on that with even my daughter. Like, if she's kicking off about something, like, I'll take her outside and go, look, there's other people in there doing their fucking thing as well. Like, we're not the center of attention. So which rarely happens. But, I bring it, I understand other people are living their lives. There hasn't, other people are getting on with their shit. They don't need to know that we've entered the cafe. You know what I mean? It's like, if it happens naturally, and if she goes and meets somebody at a table, yeah, fine. But
well, especially now, man. Especially now, because these fucking vectors. Like, if some kid was roaming around free now, it doesn't matter anyway, because we can't go to cafes. This joke doesn't even work in the fucking coronavirus context. We can't even do anything fucking social. So what does it matter?
And did you find so you tried to work that stuff on stage, like annoying people parenting out loud?
No, actually, I got a few laughs out of it. So it was during, I used to have bits about modern parenting, and. I'd say I don't have a problem with modern parenting, but I have a problem with the arrogance of modern parenting, like as if everything that happened before was bad, and all, like, as if we've reached the point in time where now we know what perfect parenting is.
Yeah.
As if in 20 years' time, we're not going to be looking back at now thinking, what were we thinking with all these timeouts or whatever? And all those bits worked. The problem was it all just got a bit long. So one of the bits I used to do was the sort of like the performance parent, like the Broadway show parenting, where they're in a cafe and they want everybody to know how great they are at parenting. Like they've just came out of the bored gosh after watching some fucking some show.
Yeah.
And then they're like getting the kid to like tell the amazing stories about the show that they just like. I don't give a fuck. You're a wealthy parent. You took your kid to the bored gosh.
Yeah.
Now shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That shit is annoying. And there's definitely a sense of it's like this unwritten competition that's going on about like who's the best parent within the groups of parents. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like. But even between mothers, are you breastfeeding? Oh, you're not.
Oh,
no, that's fine.
Breastfeeding shame is hilarious, man. My ex on fucking Instagram, she drops more fucking breastfeeding shame on other parents and also natural birth shame. As if everybody has a. Anyway, I won't get into that.
Yeah.
I won't get into that, but I know we'll finish on this because I like keeping but now that we're doing the videos, I like keeping them shorter, but I also like not killing ourselves so that we can do this more regularly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
defo.
Because I think right now regularity is better than length.
Yeah.
Which
definitely.
That's
for sure.
what.
And
that's what she said. I tell you, I'm speaking so loud into this mic. I'd say my whole fucking neighborhood is getting this podcast live. Here I am complaining about parents publicly parenting, and like my whole neighborhood has to listen to me do a fucking podcast. Well, I've only got 3 neighbors that are actually out here. So, oh shit! Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah,
regularity.
I was actually, funnily enough, just yesterday. I talked to my brother Mike now every day. Today we talked a lot about where we're at with our grief, but yesterday we were talking about how lucky we were to have had. Oh, the wind is shaking my camera. How lucky we were to have a childhood where we literally just went outside. Oh, I know what it was. Sadly, a girl I grew up with's dad died. Kelly Hogan's dad died. Ronnie Hogan. He was a super cool dad.
Okay.
And he was one of those dads that, like, I guess, he liked kids and would like joke around with us and stuff. And he even took me for a ride in his Corvette a couple of times. And there's just a couple of guys. Here's it. No, I'm only digressing because these 2 teenage boys just passed jogging, and
right.
They're jogging with their music playing openly. Not
I fucking hate that shit.
Not in their headphones. So this is just the strangest coincidence that we're just talking about this. I get it. They want to listen to the same music together, but it's like, dude,
Yeah. They do that on the bus now as well. Everybody does that on the bus. They just have it loud on their phone.
I know. There's like a thing that generation. I feel like they don't understand that, like, your funny video is not funny for everybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's neither. That's stay tuned next week. We'll complain about fucking teenagers. I mean, really, it's easy to complain about teenagers at the moment. They don't fucking care about social distancing. They don't. I fucking can't stand. Anyway, so
what were we like? That's what we can talk about in the next episode, though. What were we like when we were teenagers?
I know, man. But anyway, sorry. Just quickly, it is amazing to think that. So this girl I lived on 188th Street. Kelly Hogan lived on 190th Street, and our 2 streets had so many kids, but like 190th Street, you had to cross a street to get to 190th. So the kids from 188th and 189th hung out together. That the kids on 190th, they had like their own crew. But every now and then, you got a little older, you could cross the street and go over to like the 190th kid, and it was like going to a whole other universe. It was like this whole other world of other children, and it was so exciting. But the crazy thing was that, like, we were outside in that all the time. Like, we played outside with oodles of children all the time, and I don't think that will ever happen again.
I don't think so. It's it's certainly not happening. It's not going to be happening for my daughter out on our street, that's for sure. Because kids just aren't outside. They just don't. There's no kicking ball on the road. I kick football on the road more than any kid in this neighborhood does. It's just different.
I know.
Man.
When you think about Stony Batter, when you think about the layout of Stony Batter, it's got a little bit of that my left foot kind of a vibe,
Yeah.
And like you would think that is just crying out for a bunch of kids to play football in the street, and nobody's driving fast on that road. That road you're on it's not a shortcut.
No. No.
There
Nobody.
would be absolutely nothing wrong with playing football on that street.
Yeah, and it would be great. There'd be a few broken windows, but hey, that's all part of the process. Everyone's got double glazing now anyway. So.
Oh yeah, I know
But
there'd be
anyway.
complaints from old people about the noise, but
Yeah.
that.
No, I do get some of the old people sticking their heads out the door going, who's making that noise, kicking the ball around, and they see
Oh really?
they see a 34-year-old. They don't say it.
Yeah, they see a 34-year-old who's the mother's a fucking immigrant, and the child, you couldn't figure out where the fuck the child is from. They're like, this is fucking everything that's gone wrong with Ireland. These fucking immigrants coming over here with
These
their
fucking
kids.
Brazilians.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone thinks your wife is Brazilian for sure. I'm sure she gets that.
Yeah. They always assume she's Brazilian first.
Yeah. When she
before you
passes, they're like, "Are you Deliveroo?"
That's it. I love that. You must have heard that Danny O'Brien joke about Latino Brazilian men are so much better at love making and doing all the love stuff. Like even going down on a woman, they're just so smooth about it. They just slither straight down, take off the Deliveroo bag, you know.
It's a terrible stereotype, but it's totally true. I mean,
Yeah.
I
To
think
be fair, they all laugh at it. They laugh at it.
80% of the Deliveroo crew are definitely Brazilian that are Deliveroo. I miss Deliveroo, man.
Oh yeah.
Pros and cons of being isolated out here in West Hampton.
It's still going in Dublin, to be fair.
No, I know, bro. I did a song. It was one of the happiest moments of my life was when I did that Deliveroo TikTok. And then way you know the way that you can do a duet. A Deliveroo guy duetted with me, but I didn't know he was a Deliveroo guy. So
I saw that. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
He's just sitting there listening to my video, and then when the because it's a pull back and reveal joke. You don't know I'm talking about Deliveroo. It sounds like a love song, and then I'm like, Deliveroo, and he jumps up with his Deliveroo clothes, and he's like, he's talking about me, and I was like, I love
It's
TikTok,
so good.
man.
It's so good. So good.
I got silenced on TikTok for my China in Your Hands video. It came up as you don't have the rights to use this song, so it was silenced.
Oh, really? Everybody's using that.
What?
That's enough. Loads of the one where you cut it into Trump going China on it.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah,
But
but on
And,
TikTok it got silenced.
oh right.
I put it up independently on Instagram and on Facebook, but on TikTok, the actual TikTok itself, they muted it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's probably Trump's cronies.
No, it's to do with not having the rights to use that song, unfortunately.
Right. Okay.
All right, Steve.
Oh,
Well, that's
well.
great, man. That was fun. And the truth is that every time we get together, we can mess around with some ideas. I'll think of one or two ideas that I want to workshop. We can try to workshop
do
a
it.
bit. We can try to workshop a
Let's-
bit every ep.
Yeah. That's a great idea. I'd love to do that. And because I've never like workshopped like this before, so that'd be cool for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Sure.
sorry that we jumped off your cats thing early. And in fact, that was a bit premature, but we started running with other stuff.
Yeah, but we found other bit like the Great Dane in the cafe. That can be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just quickly so that we don't leave you hanging completely. Obviously, the whole concept of Siamese twins and Siamese cats, and the King and I. Did you think about trying to find anything with the King and I?
I could think about that. Yeah. What a great film. But yeah, I could think about that as well.
Yul Brenner,
Yeah.
But obviously, there's
Great
got to be
film.
a quick joke, like a rule of three. There's got to be a three reasons why cats are like posh English people.
Yeah, I'll think about them. All right. Yeah.
There's got to be a rule of three on that.
Because I was doing, I was just doing loads of I was doing loads of impersonations of cats and then walking the way a cat would around the stage and all that. Because I do all that with Dublin Seagulls. With Dublin Seagulls, ducks, and pigeons. So I go to feed the ducks at the pond, and there's this argument between the seagulls and the ducks and the pigeons and all that. But and then the swans are the Southsiders, the ducks are the Culchies, the blah blah blah.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll have
which
to.
is-
And I wonder if there are certain types of cats that aren't posh English people. And also, have you
Yeah.
watched Tiger King yet?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
So I haven't watched it. I only just started watching it, but I think that there'll probably be some Tiger King jokes in there too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not like people. It's one of those things that's gone a little bit. Everyone's talking about it online now. It's not particularly amazing, but it's just all the people in it are fucking.
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
what I'll do is I'll watch it in its entirety, and then we'll do it. We'll
Yeah.
do is we'll end one of our eps talking about Tiger King, so that
Yeah.
if there's a spoiler, that people can just kill it right there.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, listen,
Okey-doke, bro.
we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for taking. We're putting so much time into this. Have you thought about any names?
Oh yeah, no, I haven't. No,
can't
has
think of a
Joanne thought
name.
of anything?
No. Joanne gets busy.
Yeah, but she's writing for the newspapers and all that crap now, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing it. I'm recording an episode with Joanne for tomorrow. I'll try to get up on Friday. I'm going to get this up
Right.
straight away. So this is today's episode.
Yeah.
But I guess I just have to pick some generic name and then just like say with regular contributors,
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And like I'm like even I mean I don't even know if there's a point in doing it, but I have to do some audition tapes today. But I was going to do them yesterday because my eye was so bad. I was
Oh,
like,
you didn't
I'm gonna
do
look
them?
like shit in it. No, but then I was on somebody else's podcast and blah blah blah.
Do you
so
have somebody to read for you?
It's just it's literally they're one-liners because it's like I'm just in these scenes. It's like a guard like stop, who goes there, and all that kind of stuff. But the difficulty is not just getting someone to read; it's getting a quiet moment because I need to get. Is that ring good, by the way, for the lighting? Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, obviously there's other types of lights that you can get too, but the ring light is pretty handy,
It is for audition tapes anyway, because even like lighting in my house would be crap because I would angle the light properly through a natural light through a window.
But then sometimes you need to do it at night.
Then if I'm doing it, I'm probably gonna have to wait till my daughter goes to bed. So so then you need some lighting. But anyway, we'll work it out. Yeah.
No.
Inez will probably
The ring light's not bad, and she can read for you. But anyway, if you're ever under pressure, I have done it where, like right now, for example, we're using this.
Oh
Zoom.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
cool.
I've done them where I had somebody read over Skype, but you can't tell. So what I did was I recorded myself on my phone, and I had the other person on Skype, but on speaker. And
Right.
they read the lines, and you would never know. I sent it to a few people, and they were like, I had no idea that was Skype. It just sounds
Perfect.
like
Yeah,
having
yeah,
a reader,
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
a good idea.
but,
Okay,
acting
bro.
tricks. All right, man.
Absolutely.
Hello Steve-O. We'll say goodbye. I'm going to stay on, and I'm going to do the intro
Okie doke.
after you hang up, so I'm going to continue to use on this. So I'll see you later, Steve.
And I'll send you the file now. Okay. Over and out.
Thank you. Over. Bye.
Take care, bro. Bye bye.
So that's the end of Steve there. Thanks everybody for listening. This has been the Des Bishop Podcast, soon to be something else. But we'll be staying on this feed. Hit us up at Hello Steve-O. I'm at Des Bishop on Instagram, facebook.com/Des Bishop on Facebook, Des Bishop 5 on TikTok. I'm distracted by my neighbor walking by. Leave comments. Thanks very much. A few comments lately. That was fantastic. And at Des Bishop on Twitter. There'll be another solo episode from me coming up soon, probably talking about the world that we live in. Stay tuned. Friday, we'll have an episode with Joanne McNally. New episode of The Shift every Monday night into Tuesday morning. If you're a Shift listener, that's it, folks. Stay at home. Do what you can. If you're a frontline worker, I thank you. In the United States, in Ireland, anywhere in the world, I thank you. When you post your videos, I cry. It's the constable. It's our local police force driving by there. But yeah, if you are a frontline worker, I get very emotional. The risks that you're taking, especially as we see more and more how risky it actually is. So thank you so much. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week.